Hey, what's up guys? So it's Beast, and today I'm going to show you guys how to mod Call of Duty World at War system link split screen for COD jumping. Keep in mind this will be in offline because you have the deep edge bounces. So first off, go to your system's storage, plug in your USB. Make sure that the USB is readable. If it's not, you're gonna have to format it, which will delete everything on it. So hopefully um, you've already done this, but if you haven't, I just did it for you. Next up, you're going to want to delete your hard drive's cache, which will in turn remove the Call of Duty World at War update, so you can play it offline. Keep in mind this will delete the update for all other games stored in the cache, so you might have to reinstall some as you slowly play those games again. Alright, so now we're just going to make our profile, and this profile will be exclusive for the god jumping basically, or whatever you plan on doing with this. So you're just gonna make it, name it whatever the hell you want, save it directly onto the USB. That way you don't have to transfer it over later. It'll just be quicker this way. Um, and that's really it. Just make a profile, put on the USB, don't play any games. Anyways, onto the computer. Okay, so once you're on the computer, you're going to want to locate the hard drive through the File Explorer, which I have on the left there. And then in order to see the content folder, which I'm showing you right now, you actually have to enable hidden files and folders, which you do by going to view and then get that checkmark uh, box checked. And then go through these folders that I just went through and to access that file right there, the E00 whatever your profile identification number is. Just drag and drop that file into Horizon as I did. Go to Contents, right click Contents, and insert a file and locate the modded GPD as I just did, and basically you're inserting the modded GPD into the profile, and then save, rehash, and resign. And here I'm just showing you that it's in there now, because before it was kind of buggy. It wasn't showing up until we re-dropped it in for some reason. I don't know why it's like that, but that's all you gotta do. You just put the your profile onto Horizon and then put in the modded GPD, save, rehash, and resign back out. So once that's done, you go back to the Xbox and boot up World at War. And what I'm doing right now with this dashboard, you want to spam the dashboard over and over again if you're playing on an online account to uh, ignore the title update, or else it'll kick you to the home. Um, but anyways, once you successfully get into World at War, just sign into the account, and you should know it works because you'll see the modded message of the day. It's gonna be changed a little. Set up the game to whatever you want, preferably hardcore, unlimited time, double health. Not that that's really important, just hardcore and unlimited time. And here, if you push back button, you will see God mode, and that'll activate everything. You should have a says player sustain ammo. Um, God mode and no clip is bound to left bumper. So that's basically it. For the rest, I'm just going to show you guys how to hex edit the file to your liking if you want. Okay guys, so we're back on the computer. Before we get into the hex editing, I want to preface it can be very tedious and buggy and annoying, and trial and error, so just letting you guys know. First thing you're going to want to need to download is a hex editor. This one is very well known and it's called HXD. It should take like 30 seconds to install and download. So once you got that, you're good to go. If you guys want to figure out what you want to add in, I'm going to link this in the description. This is a World at War DVAR list. You can find a whole bunch of these on Google. Just like look up World at War DVAR list or whatever. This was the first one that came up. So it's just a whole bunch of DVARs and settings and stuff. So watch, this should have a jump height setting. Like it just gives you an example of a basically a DVAR that you could potentially use if you wanted to. So that's actually the one that I'm going to give the example with. I'm just going to add that into this GPT here. So open up the GPT which actually that shouldn't open for you because you've never used HXD. If you have, you should just be able to open it. But if you haven't done this yet, you're gonna right click and go to open with, search, oopsie, do not search the store. Open with, choose another app. Wherever you installed HXD, just look around for it in here, and whatever you need to do. Hopefully you've done something like that before, but once you finally select hxd.exe, it'll set that as the default. So just click on here, and then you're gonna launch up into the GPD. So I also want to let you guys know that if you change, you can only write over data. You can't insert new data. So basically what you're looking at over here is all the hex values on the left columns, or on the left side rather. The right side is the decoded text. So the left side is what is important, but obviously we can't really interpret this. So the computer interprets it for us, and when we type stuff in here, it's going to then translate it into the bytes and the hex values, which is what's important. So I'm just letting you guys know what you're looking at. What I just did right there would totally break it, so I'm gonna undo that. And then click on Control F, and then this will come up, and we're just gonna find out where the code is. So click on, or type in MOTD, which is message of the day. This will take us to this message. Hello, Vegeta, this was blah blah blah. Okay, it's actually not going to take you here. It's going to take you to the first one, the single player one. Just hit F3. And when you hit F3, it's going to take you to the correct one. So this is what I added in. This is where the mods start. And I'm going to highlight them all. So this is what's already here. If you want to change any of this, you can. So for example, if you want to change this right here, the vehicle perk lead foot speed increase 90, you could change this to like more than 90. We'll change it to like 150. But actually here, before we change that, I'm going to copy all the code that we've written so far. I'm going to copy it, and then I'm going to go in here, I'm going to change 90 to 100, and then I'm going to, from the spot, right click, paste right, and that way, when we paste something in, it's not actually adding data, it's just writing over data. So if you see these periods are the free slots that I put the periods over to indicate nothing's there basically. So we just changed that to 100. If we want, let's change it to 150, and then it'll make the tanks go like rocket ships basically. It's pretty funny. So here's the no clip bind, jump slowdown enable. We'll add in one more, so just go to here, semicolon, and at this point we are writing into, this is all contained within the button back. So just also letting you know, there's this quotation mark which indicates the entrance of the button back. And then once we hit button back in the game, it's going to execute everything in here, including the thing we're going to add. So once we hit button back, it will do a, we'll bind D-pad underscore down. You can do whatever button you want though. Toggle, because we are going to be making this a toggleable value of jump underscore height is what we are toggling. The values we're going to toggle between is 32, which I think is the default, 100 and 1000. That's 100, 1000. And then that is the last piece of code I want to add in, so I'm going to put a quotation mark to finish that off. And then you're going to want to put a period, highlight the period, and then go over to the hex value, and we're going to put in the hex value of 0A. So like I said, the hex values are what's important, so even though 0A looks like a period, it's actually not a period. 0A represents a new line character so if anyone's done coding, the new line character is what's important. So that basically indicates that we're now done with the code. If you want to write in code, before you start doing, like if you look right here, this is also a new line after the actual game code. So we're writing over the game code right here, and then we're gonna write, they have theirs to 0A, the new line character, and then it gets into the next line of code to be executed, so to say. So before we finish, we're almost done now, but before we finish writing over the code, because this is just gibberish at this point, because we were writing over it and it's like halfway in between a command that wasn't ever, that's been written over, we're just gonna keep writing over it until there's no information there. So go to that period. This period that we just stopped before is 0A. So you don't want to write over the 0A, you want to stop at the 0A. And now we're done. So if you wanted to keep adding in code, you can continuously add in information up until this, I'm fairly certain. Or up until here. So right there, we could edit and add in more commands over all of this, but the moment you start hitting all this shit, you are basically done. And if you edit any of these values, I can assure you it will corrupt. So that's why GPD mods are limited. You don't have a whole lot of space to write the code. But yep, you could probably get in a couple more binds if you wanted to. Just file, save as, and then save it wherever you want, and then load that onto your profile. So I hope that works. I'm going to show you guys what we just did on the Xbox now. Okay, so while this is loading, I just want to quickly say thank you so much for watching, and I hope this was super helpful and beneficial for you guys. It's a lot of fun to mess around with this. Also, expect one for COD 4 soon. But anyways, to show you what we just did, if you look on the screen, I'm jumping normal height, I push down D-pad, I jump 100, I push down on D-pad again, and then I jump 1,000. If I pushed, I didn't do this, but if I push down on D-pad again, I would then jump 32. It just goes in that loop over and over again. But anyways, yeah, I hope this was helpful. If you guys have any questions, put them in the comments, and I'll talk to you motherfuckers later. Peace.